Hey guys, it is Nick here with Nick's Topics, back with another Walking Dead What If topic, and guess what? It's an oldie fan favorite from when I started the channel. What if Rick never killed Shane? Part 7! Yes, I know I never actually put a Part 6 in, but I did put an update video in, pretty much making that like a little mini Part 6, if you want to call it that. So, let's just recap. The reasoning that I haven't made a part 7 is because I was waiting for most, or if all, season 11 to come out because I had nothing more to go off of. Because a lot in the What If particularly, disabled me from really truly continuing on with the story. But 15 episodes have come out, or 16, about that number, because the time you'll be watching this video, it will already be pre-recorded, and I'd say like 16 or so, at least. Anyway, back to what I was saying. This is going to be kind of a long one, probably longer than most of my What If Rick Did Not Kill Shane videos. Usually the first two parts were like in the mix of like over 10 minutes, so who knows? But enough of me talking, let's recap to where we left off. First and foremost, the main element of this story, Shane is dead, dying in part 3 to Negan's baseball bat at the lineup. If you guys have not watched the series, then there's a fresh reminder to you. I don't want to like give every single little detail as to what happened in previous parts because I feel like that would take way too much time and it would get boring. So I'll try to sum it up as good as I can before we get into the real deal. So, like I said, Shane is dead. Negan is also dead, which changes a lot, making season 10 and season 11 obviously much shorter because there is less to go off of since Negan was like almost the primary focus for season 10 and part of season 11. So with him out, that changes a lot too. And because of the Whisperers and Saviors being dealt with so easily, all the communities, Hilltop, Kingdom is still around, Alexandria is in much more good shape, as well as Oceanside. So all the communities are in good shape. Now last time, Rick, Carl, Maggie, Rosita, Daryl, and Carol all took out the likes of Alpha and all the other Whisperers with a lot more backup on their side than the original story. With a lot more characters being alive, this would be much easier, leaving the entire group with much more rations. The rest of the group consisting of Lydia, Sadiq, Judith, Aaron, and Father Gabriel, like I said, with much more rations and much less likely to die of starvation or to go into, have to find more rations, as hard a journey as that was in the original if you've seen season 11. Now there's something else we need to bring up. Because of Jadis and her group surviving all of them until about the time where the Whisperers attacked, she didn't want to switch someone in to get into the city, and so she pretty much, and her group, they pretty much, like, they weren't with the group, but they at least kept themselves, and they didn't try anything funny. Sorry, I stuttered over my words there. They didn't try anything funny, so they were at least a respected part of the group. But because of their deaths by the Whisperers, this left Jadis wanting to trade someone to get into the city, so she at least had a group and, like, people and all that other goody nonsense. But unfortunately, the scheme doesn't play well to her advantage because of everyone in the group, mainly consisting of the guys that I said killed Alpha, a lot more angry and tougher than they were in the original story. So Jadis' plan ultimately backfires and she is killed off. No more Jadis. Meanwhile, the pair of Eugene, Ezekiel, Yumiko, and Princess all meet together and end up at the Commonwealth per the original story. So those events come to pass per the original, nothing major really changes. Now I bet you guys are probably going to ask this question in the comments before you even get to hear it. Does Maggie still meet Elijah and that group? Well, no. Because of Glenn dying a lot later than he did in the original, and because of the fact of Negan and basically Alpha being dead, Maggie is, like, still definitely upset over her husband's death, but she's with the group because a lot has changed, and she's easily comforted by the fact that she at least, her and her husband, he lived for a longer time, and her enemy that killed him was dead, so she was less likely to want to leave. Plus, they had bigger rations and less likely to die of starvation, like I said, so this would definitely allow her to stay with the group. Now, what of Elijah and that group, you ask? Well, the Reapers would likely have killed them. So, sorry if you're Elijah fans and those other guy fans out there, but without Maggie, they'd likely be dead. Now, something I forgot to talk about before. Virgil and his meeting with the group and everything like that. This is a drastic change in the story because of one thing. Rick is still alive and around, so him, like, his stuff being on that ship is less likely to have an occurrence, more than less likely, completely out of the question. And I bet that he would still go to the island anyway, to Oceanside and everything, to try and get materials and stuff like that for his supposed alive family. Because of Rick still being around, he chooses to go, the leader of the group, taking his leave of the group much later than he did original. Well, he didn't. He pretty much almost died in the... So it wasn't really a choice then. Well, he did choose to blow up the bridge, but that's beside the point. He chooses to go with Virgil, and that would also change a lot too, because we would get no Virgil and Connie scene, because Connie's still alive and with the group. Now, with all that out of the way, we get on to the main focus of this here what if. The Reapers. They don't meet near the tunnel area like before, and also, Daryl and Leah never met because Daryl was still with the group. So they had no, like, qualms of being in a relationship or not. And you guys might be asking, why is Leah still part of the Reapers? Would she still be part of the Reapers even if she didn't meet Daryl? Well, I think most likely. They would find her, they would save her, blah, blah, blah. I think that that would definitely still occur per the original. But like I said, the group was definitely had a lot bigger rations, so them going into the tunnel and then going out and meeting the Reapers, they would meet, but just not in that fashion because of what I just said. I don't want to repeat myself a bunch of times. Now, Daryl, he does not get kidnapped this time by the Reapers. Sadiq does. He encounters Leah at the passageway where Daryl found Leah and then got surrounded whenever Dog went missing. And he gets interrogated, but ultimately doesn't comply and is killed off. Meanwhile, the rest of this, I was about to say savior, the rest of the Reaper fight goes per normal, with Carl staying behind instead of Aaron to protect Judith and the others. Because remember, in this story, him and Eden have a kid, Carl Jr., which I don't have a picture of because they never had a kid. He also wants to stay behind to protect Judith because, you know, he's the big brother. So he stays behind instead of Aaron, and the rest, there is no, like, the Whisperers surviving because the Whisperers were promptly killed off, so that's less of a problem. Also, meanwhile, all the Reapers are killed down to a select few, and it goes per normal, with the Reapers all getting killed off similarly to how they were in the original, up until we get the scene with Carver. The chase scene with him still pretty much goes down per normal, with Maggie still there as the ringleader, but this time accompanied by both Aaron and Father Gabriel. Now the fight goes pretty much how it did whenever Negan and Elijah were her backup buddies, and the three not being able to do jack against Carver. But Aaron's metal hand did catch him off guard at first, but still no match for him. With no Negan to put sand and bring the bell on Carver, the three are about to die. That is until Daryl steps in just in time and crossbows Carver in the head, promptly finishing off one of the most powerful Reapers that there are. Also, meanwhile, Rosita, yes, she's with them, paired up with Lydia, who's actually fighting the Reapers, is in a heated battle, or are in a heated battle with Leah, another Reaper, and Pope himself. Now the two are able to hold their own, promptly killing off the Reaper. Not all their names were discussed, so I just say the Reaper, sorry. And they are fighting against Leah too, but they have already exhausted a lot of their strength, and the two are about to die. With Pope also leading the charge, going tyrannically at the both of them. And they're both about to give out, even though Rosita is a pretty much champ at fighting. The two are about to die until a gunshot rings out, shooting straight into the back of Leah's head, killing her off. Also, slightly grazing Pope, straight in the side of his leg. The savior, you may ask? The savior is Rick, who came back from his island voyage with Virgil. Now, about Virgil, probably should mention that he was killed off by Rick. Why, you may ask? Well, whenever Rick went to the island with Virgil, he right away sensed that something was wrong. And after slowly piecing it together, he kills Virgil, not even allowing himself to be trapped by Virgil, rescues the people there, and then makes his way home. This would all occur kind of after or between the time that the Whisperers were still a thing. Well, obviously after, because Rick was there to probably kill Alpha with the others. So that's why he took so much time to get back, but he made it just in time to save Rosita and Lydia. Pope, in his last moments, even though just grazed, because he knew he was probably going to die, tries to make a little monologue to Rick about God, and I'm pretty sure that we know that Rick wouldn't get into any of that, and he would promptly, boom, kill Pope, and the Reaper threat would be over. Not even Leah would be alive for this story, folks. Now, with the Reapers out of the way, we get to the time skip of the Commonwealth arriving at Alexandria, with Eugene, Ezekiel, Yamiko, and Princess all in tip-top shape, well, Princess being a new addition. And that's where we leave things for the moment. Now I know, you'd be expecting this to be like a finale to the great season or what if that started your entire channel and everything else. Well, unfortunately, I can't do that. Because, few reasons. One, that's all I could think of. Two, the rest of Season 11 still has to come out before me to even get a remote idea of where to continue with the series. I was lucky to even have these ideas to go off of. I literally had to wait for Season 11 to at least go through 15 episodes to even get a remote idea on how to continue. And you guys must admit that even without Negan being in the series at this point in time, in this What If, I still went off on a long journey with this one, probably being my most freaking edited video ever. Unless, well, what if Rick didn't kill Shane regarding? Because I'm sure I've made longer 15-minute, 16-minute videos before. Now, I will possibly think of ideas, since this would only roughly be around episode 9 of the Walking Dead. So I could probably maybe think of making a part 8, but that would probably be it. I'll think more into it. Some part of me wants to just wait, but also I think we're at least going to get like 23 or 22 episodes of season 11, so I'll definitely consider it, but that's where we leave things at the moment. So what do you guys think? Do you think this return to the series was at least adequate? What do you think could have happened if this regard was happening? What do you think of the What If Rick Didn't Kill Shane series so far? If you haven't checked it out, I got about 6 parts of those. Check them out on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And if you have any topics that you want to share with me, feel free to in the comments. I did one requested to me by someone in the comments about a week ago, so I will definitely look into any and all suggestions and comment something good. I want to see what your thoughts are on my videos and what you think could have differed, and I could look to it in the future. But that's all, guys. See you.